The hidden story a poor girl sang in the subway. What happened next shocked everyone. In a quiet African village, where tradition and hardship walked hand in hand, a young girl named Nia possessed a voice that could silence even the restless winds. But when tragedy struck her family, she was forced to leave home and seek a new life in the city, a place where dreams were easily crushed beneath hurried footsteps. With nothing but her voice, she found herself singing in the depths of a crowded subway, hoping anyone, would hear her. But in a world that moved too fast to notice a lost girl, would her song be enough to change her fate? In the heart of Mbale, a small African village surrounded by endless golden fields and the whispering songs of the wind, a girl named Ebony was born. From the moment she could walk, she sang. Her voice like a river, flowing effortlessly through the ears of those who listened. Her mother, Mama Zainabu, was a widow, a weaver of fine baskets that the villagers admired but rarely paid much for. Their home, a small mud hut with a thatched roof, stood at the edge of the village near the great baobab tree. Life in Mbale was simple yet difficult, and every day was a struggle to put food on the mat. Ebony's voice was a gift, but not everyone saw it that way. Some believed she was touched by the spirits, while others whispered that a girl with such a voice could only bring misfortune. But Mama Zainabu, frail but strong in spirit, always told her, "Your voice is the wind, my child, and the wind cannot be caged." One year, the rains were late. The land cracked and the river ran low. Crops withered, and hunger crept into every home like an unwelcome visitor. Mama Zainabu, already weak from years of hard labor, fell ill. The local healer, an old woman named Bibi Mwenda, did what she could, but she shook her head gravely. "She needs medicine from the city, my child." The city. It was a place of stories, where people from all over the world came and went. Ebony had never been there, but she had heard tales of its bustling markets, its bright lights, and the opportunities it held. She knew she had no money, no way to buy the medicine her mother needed, but she had her voice. With a heavy heart and Mama Zainabu's blessing, Ebony packed what little she had, a small calabash of water, a bundle of maize cakes, and her mother's old shawl, and set off on foot toward the city. When Ebony arrived in the city, she was overwhelmed by its size. Tall buildings stretched toward the sky. People moved in hurried waves, and the sounds were deafening. She wandered through the streets, clutching her bundle tightly, until she found herself in a place unlike any she had ever seen, a subway station. It was not like the village, where voices carried in the open air. Here, the walls seemed to swallow sound, yet the hum of life was undeniable. Desperate and exhausted, she stood at the entrance and began to sing. Her voice echoed through the tunnels, rich and full, weaving through the crowd like the scent of ripe mangoes in the market. At first, people rushed past her, too busy to notice. But then, one by one, they began to stop. A street vendor lowered his cart handle. A woman with a heavy bag stood still. A little boy tugged at his father's hand and pointed. Coins clinked into the cloth she had spread before her feet. Not many, but enough to give her hope. For days, Ebony returned to the subway, singing until her voice grew hoarse. People began to recognize her. Some stopped just to listen. Others dropped food or money, but it was never enough. Then one evening, as she finished singing, a man in a well-tailored suit approached. His name was Mr. Chite, a music producer. "Your voice," he said, "is unlike anything I have ever heard. You could be a star." Ebony hesitated. She had not come to the city for fame. She had come for her mother. Seeing her doubt, Mr. Chite said, "I will pay you to record one song, and I will give you the money you need for your mother's medicine." With no other choice, Ebony agreed. In the days that followed, Ebony stepped into a world she had never imagined. Recording studios, cameras, microphones. Her song was played on the radio. People spoke of her as the girl with the golden voice. But as her fame grew, so did the distance between her and her purpose. She had enough money now, but returning to Mbale seemed harder with each passing day. The city had a way of holding on to those who arrived seeking something more. Then one night, as she lay in her small rented room, she dreamt of her mother. She saw Mama Zainabu sitting under the baobab tree waiting. She woke with a start. She had to go home. With the money she had earned, Abney bought the medicine and boarded the first bus back to Mbale. When she arrived, she found her mother weak but alive. Tears filled Mama Zainabu's eyes as she held her daughter close. "You found your way back," her mother whispered. And with that, Abney knew she had truly found her song.